Namaste, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Ashley Turner, yoga and meditation teacher for over 18 years and licensed psychotherapist in California. And today we are talking about dumbing down yoga. I hear this a lot, and I've definitely been a purist over the years and felt a little tension or frustration at seeing yoga dumbified, as I would say, or watered down in the marketplace, or maybe the Instagram effect of yoga. But what I want to talk to you about today is how to maintain the depth of the practice and make it accessible for as many people as possible, and why this is so important. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I went back to school to get my license and master's in psychology, was because I wanted to be able to frame yoga through a psychological lens and languaging, so that, you know, my uncles and cousins who are farmers in Central Illinois, or my brother-in-law who works on Wall Street, so I could speak to them and explain to them the effects of yoga and some of the practices in a language that they could understand. My girlfriend and colleague Sienna Sherman talks about street language and how important it is for us as teachers to use street language and speak to people, meet them where they are, use language that they can understand. So I want to take the pressure off you if you are a yoga teacher and you don't know all the Sanskrit terminology, you haven't mastered all that yet. That's okay. We want to teach what we know. And I know for myself, I just let myself learn Sanskrit by osmosis, and eventually I had all the poses down. And it kind of comes through organically. But if you don't have that languaging yet, use the English terms. One of the things that we want to remember as teachers is that when we take the seat of a teacher, we want to make our teachings accessible. We want to be able to immediately take the temperature of who is in the room with us and who are we speaking to. For example, most of my private yoga clients over the years have been powerhouse CEOs. They've run multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies, and I go and teach them, and they are signing up to get strong and flexible. They are not there to lose their sense of self or connect to the divine, right? So I will start by languaging it in terms they understand, and a lot of the terminology I would use is more business and organizational structural language around empowerment or charisma, or just straight up business terms, leveraging, using vocabulary words that they can relate to. And then once we build a trust with our students and our student body, whoever it is that we're speaking to, whether it's a large audience at a conference or a festival, or a yoga private one-on-one, once we've built that trust, and the way we build that trust, know, like, and trust, is to make it accessible, to make it relatable. People want to know that you are giving them tools that are going to help them in their life where they are, with their kids, with their partners, with their businesses, with their colleagues, with their families, with the natural everyday stresses that they experience, right? So languaging, whether it's a pranayama practice, an asana practice, giving them the actual benefits in really plain everyday language. I think, you know, when I was studying with Brian Kest, this is one of his greatest attributes, is he barely ever uses a Sanskrit term, but what he does is he keeps chanting over and over the benefits of a pose, the benefits of ujjayi breathing, the benefits of mindfulness. In everyday language, he cusses a lot. You know, he makes it really accessible to dudes. And this is something that I want to challenge you all as yoga teachers to do, to, again, know who your audience is, speak to them in their language, frame it in whatever orientation they have. Again, maybe it's their career, maybe it's their role as a parent, maybe it's psychological languaging or physiological benefits, and you can describe those. So you want to have a few different nuances, a few different languages that you can work with. Once you've built that trust, then you can start to take them deeper. Then you can start to add in maybe Sanskrit languaging or more mystical or spiritual languaging. You might happen to be with an audience that is super spiritual and psychologically oriented, and so you can just dive right into those depths. But for most people, you want to make it accessible. So again, I was home on the farm in Illinois years ago teaching my aunts and uncles, literally on a farm. and they'd never heard of Sanskrit, didn't even know probably it existed. And so I'm talking to them about flexibility. I'm talking to them about the physiology of deep breathing, of releasing stress. And then when I talk to my brother-in-law who works, Goldman Sachs in finance, I'm languaging it through stress relief, through optimization, through efficiency, mindfulness practices that are going to help him focus more and get more done during the day. So we want to meet the needs of our students. So identify who your student body is, find out what is their orientation, how can you language it accordingly, how can you teach to their pain points, their specific challenges. If it's an older audience, maybe talking about anti-aging. If it's, again, someone in the business world, talking to them about how they can leverage their efforts and be more, optimized in their world. If it's a parent, how they can be more present with their kids and work with more patience, right? So speak to them in a language they can understand. Find that street language. This is coming out of my inspiration. I just got off an interview on a big project that I'm working on, secret project, but I was just interviewing Dr. Richard Miller, who's incredible. And he developed what's called iRest. He took Yoga Nidra. He's incredibly steeped with, huge lineage behind him of Yoga Nidra practices. But in 2004, the United States government and Walter Reed Military Medical Center came to him and asked him to bring in Yoga Nidra to the military complex. But they said, we need you to change the name of this. Nobody's going to come in for yoga and meditation. So he came up with the name iRest. Check out all his work, irest.org. And I thought this was so genius because it's not at all watering down or dumbifying the practice. It's just presenting it, as Marie Forleo says, in a Trojan horse, in a package that they can relate to, that's appealing to them. What happened is the practices were so powerful, Yoga Nidra so powerful for PTSD, that several years later, the military came back to him and said, you know what, call it whatever you want. We don't care. Call it yoga, call it meditation, call it iRest. It's working, and you can call it whatever you want. So this is a great example of how you come in a way that's appealing, in a package that's sellable, but you're maintaining the integrity of the practice. You're maintaining the depth, but you make it accessible to so many more people. So I want to challenge you all in this today. Where can you go in your practice, in your classes, in your marketing? How can you present it in a way that's more accessible, and trust that you're maintaining that integrity and that depth, and the practice of yoga will win out. It's going to have its effects. And then you can start naming them in other ways too. Or maybe it's not even necessary to. So help it be accessible. This is our role as teachers. This is our responsibility as entrepreneurs to get really creative with how we can present this in a way that is appealing to the masses. All right. Thank you all so much. Please let me know your thoughts. I want to hear in the comments below, how do you see yoga being dumbified, watered down? Is it not? What do you think about this? Tell me in the comments below. Put your website down there, put your Instagram handle down there so we can all go and follow and check it out and build this community. Please like this if you like it. Please share this with any friend that you think might enjoy it. Tag them in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Namaste. Aho. Oh, go to my website, sign up for my email list so you will get notified when this secret project is released, coming up very soon. So you can go to ashleyturner.co. Sign up for the email list there if you're not already on it. Sending you so much love. Namaste.